Hi, I'm Dr. Mel, and I'm on a mission to discover the people creating the biggest impact in our communities. Together, we'll meet the people behind the vision, see lives being changed, and celebrate the good all around us, because seeing the good is where change begins. Hi friends, I'm here at New Friends, New Life, where they empower women and young women coming out of human trafficking. Thank you for joining me. I'm sitting here with Priya Murphy. She is the CDO of New Friends, New Life, and I'm looking forward to learning more about what they are doing here to help women. Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much. We're so glad to have you, and thank you for choosing New Friends, New Life to be part of this Seeing the Good.
I'm excited. Okay, so I just want to start a little bit. Your CDO.
Yes.
Tell us what Chief Development Officer means. What does your job look like, and what brought you here?
Absolutely. In short, my job means fundraising and friend raising.
Oh, I like that. Fundraising.
Yes, because you can't do this work without the funds, because everything we offer to the women and the girls that we serve is completely free of cost, which means somebody has to raise the fund, and I get to wear the hat.
Yes.
And so we do that through grant writing. We do that through different events that we put that are fundraising events throughout the year. Okay. And of course, individual donations from donors and corporate partnerships. And then on the fundraising, which is really getting to share about the work of New Friends, New Life. We have amazing volunteers who come through our doors every day to serve, without whom we cannot do this work, and we're grateful for that. And so the friends are equally important as the funds. So that's what I get to do every day.
Will you tell us a little bit about what New Friends, New Life is about and the inception of it?
Absolutely. So let me start with the inception. New Friends, New Life got started originally in late 1990s, when a woman walked into a local church, Preston Road Church of Christ, and said, "Hey, I'm an exotic dancer at a local bar. I want to come out of this. I don't know how. Will you help me?" This story is so moving to me, because a group of women in University Park who's never really heard about this issue of sex trafficking, because it wasn't even an issue that was in the government radar. So the human trafficking definition was only formed federally in early 2000s. So this is prior to that.
I mean, that is not that long ago.
Yes, government didn't even recognize this as an issue. And so when this woman walked in, I'm sure these women said, "We have no idea." But what they did say is, "We don't know how, but we will figure it out." And one of our founding board members is Gail Turner, most recent First Lady of Southern Methodist University. And I love when she said this. She says, "There's nothing a group of women can't do before noon."
Oh, yeah, Gail! That's very true. Actually, that's really true.
It is so
we can get a lot done before noon.
Women can get a lot done, and I am grateful for these women who rallied around that first woman and said, "You know what, we're going to support you." And that's how New Friends, New Life got started, because once she received help, she started bringing her friends, and eventually we had to form into a nonprofit agency, because there were so many women that were needing help and they were coming out. So that's how we first got started. Now, a little bit about the mission of New Friends, New Life. We restore and empower women and girls who are coming out of sex trafficking. And so our mission is to restore women and girls, and also to raise awareness of this issue and its prevalence in the community.
So as far as your day-to-day, what does it look like when you come to work? I know every day is probably different, but when you're helping women really be free, what does that look like? If I've never heard of this behind the scenes conversation before.
A lot of times when people think of sex trafficking, and that's who we serve here, women that are coming out of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation, you think of a space that is maybe dark and full of despair and, maybe hopeless. But that is the opposite of the space you walk through today. This place is full of hope.
Yes.
While we serve the women and girls girls that are walking through the doors, we make it a place that is safe for them, where they feel happy to come to every day. It's filled with joy, and everything we do is very intentional because we want this to be a hopeful place. If you ask any of my team members, we all say this: we get to do this work.
Will you tell us a little bit about what we're standing in, where you're going to take us, and what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. Well, this is the New Friends New Life office space, and we have been in this building a little over 5 years. Thanks to the Meadows Foundation, we're in their property, and it has been such a blessing for our agency. And I want to walk you to where the programs take place and where all of the women and the girls that come through our doors receive their services every day. Yes.
Okay.
We are now in the Youth Resource Center. We started this in 2018 in partnership with the Governor's Office to work on prevention and intervention. So this program is a drop-in program, but we also have structure around it. And so we serve ages 12 to 22 in this space. And we are operating usually Monday through Thursday from 11 to 8 p.m., accommodating the youth that are coming after school hours.
So can you tell me the average age of the members that come here into this youth room? What's the average age?
The average age we serve here is 15 or 16 years old, which correlates with the average age a girl is trafficked in the United States, which is 15 years old. But the youngest girl we've served is 12 years old. So we have this program by age group. So we serve 12 to 14 under Little Yellow, which is a butterfly, by the way, and Monarch, ages 15 to 17, and Queen, ages 18 to 22. Because as you know, a 12-year-old is not going to be in the same space as an 18-year-old, and whether in education or therapy. So that's why it's defined by age groups. And this is the Adult Resource Center. Here is where majority of our women come to hang out in between classes. But we also have economic empowerment services. We use it for events. We use it for mock interviews that we provide as part of the economic empowerment. And so Men's Advocacy Group and Circle of Friends, two different auxiliary groups that are part of New Friends to Life, they come and they actually provide a mock interview setup where they are men, again, women too, they're teaching them how to better interview. Oftentimes, a man who's sitting across an interview could remind one of our members of a perpetrator or a buyer. And so how do you overcome that and still go through an interview and keep eye contact with somebody? And so to have mock interviews ahead of any interview, such a motivating skill, and it's helping them to get the right words out of their mouth in a very difficult interview setup. I want to show you our wonderful fashion closet where we have all the clothing.
Love a fashion closet?
We actually have incredible, amazing donors who are always bringing in kind donations to us, including gently used clothing and shoes and belts. And it's such a blessing to our members. We have several members who have babies, so we provide food, formula for them. We have diapers of all sizes that we are giving because of our partnership with other agencies. Then,
that's fabulous.
In addition to that, if someone comes to mock interview, they get a separate chance to go shopping for professional clothing.
And then they get the job.
They get the job. Yes. Because, part of confidence is showing up in good clothing.
Yes.
We're here in front of the child care room, and this is such an important space because when the moms are getting therapy for their healing, we provide a space for the children to be taken care of, so they're able to open up and share without having to worry about their child listening to their trauma. So that's another beautiful thing, is that our women can sign up to have child care while they're going through trauma therapy.
It's wonderful.
Yes. So here's another amazing space that we started. We said, hey, what if we can have our food pantry on site so we can provide groceries and much needed donated food to our members.
Yeah.
We're always stocking this space, and our members who come through case management pieces, they're able to shop here. So the case manager will come and say, hey, what do you need? And they will fill a cart, and so they can go home with groceries.
That's wonderful. So we have a parent that's watching this that has a 15-year-old. Can you give that mom or dad a few pointers as to how to educate their child? Social media is huge, and trafficking is huge through social media.
Yes.
What can we do to empower the parents watching to empower their kids?
Your child should never be so scared of coming to you about anything.
That's so good.
If you
That's so good.
have a lane that's open for transparency and trust, because on the other side of it, a trafficker is manipulating her, saying, I have a compromised picture of you that you sent me, because nudes these days,
Right.
kids don't know who it's going to, but they just, somebody sent, asked me for something, so I sent a picture. So again, he can say, I can send this to your parents, they're going to be really mad at you, and all of those things, and that fear is what he's using as a tactic to get her to do the next thing. And so if you have a relationship where your child knows she can come to you about anything, the other guy can't win.
That's good. Open communication.
Open communication is so important, but there are so many different apps where children are being targeted.
Yes.
And so as a parent, you should have access to their phone and to be able to view what is it that they're doing. In fact, there are apps that look like a calculator. When you open it, behind it, there's all these different apps that the children are using. So nowadays, there's so much technology, you almost have to be a step ahead of your children in learning about them, which is where we come and we can provide you the tools
Yes.
to say, if you see this app, that's what this is.
Do you do
we're happy to
workshops for
provide.
parents for things like this?
We don't specifically do
Okay.
that around that, but we go into schools, we talk to
Good.
teachers, guidance counselors to provide them with resources to share.
So can you tell me how New Friends, New Life impacts our community as a whole?
Absolutely. So we've been in this work 27 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so obviously we're helping the women and girls that are coming through our door, but we're also providing education and awareness, because every person who's trafficked, by the time they come, the level of trauma that they have endured, it takes time to undo that trauma.
Yeah.
So the awareness and education is so important to our community so they can avoid a child from ever being trafficked. One of the things that we were able to do is have a partnership in 2020 that we formed with the district attorney's office in Dallas. So what it does is, a woman is caught for prostitution, and so she has a prostitution record. Then they used to just prosecute her, she goes into jail, and it's an unending cycle. But now, because of this partnership, she can come into our women's program and just complete the first phase of our women's program.
Wow.
And when she does, her records will be expunged. And so
How is that not life-changing?
it is life-changing, because she is
Instead of
learning
repeating the cycle.
Absolutely. She is learning that there is a way out.
Yes.
And there are people who care about me.
Yes.
And this is what I say when I say survivor-centered approach.
Yes.
Instead of re-victimizing someone who's been victimized, can we show them a way out?
So can you tell me, as far as transparency with you guys, how does that look? Also, any advice that you would give us? If you know what, I want to donate, what would you encourage us to do?
Education is important because, for instance, if you thought human trafficking doesn't happen in the U.S., sex trafficking is something that happens across the border, first thing that I do is to educate you and bring awareness to what's happening in our backyard. We do a monthly bus tour where we invite anyone who's skeptic to come on the bus tour. We take you to 3 to 4 stops where there was a trafficking case that was given to us by the Department of Homeland Security or the Dallas PD or the FBI, where they released this information, where they said it's either an adjudicated case or one that has been closed for one reason or the other. So we walk through where it happened, who were involved, who was the victim, who was the perpetrator, operator. And then what happened in that situation?
Wow.
When we take people on the bus tour, their eyes are so open to see, no, it's shocking. Oftentimes I drive by here every day to work. I had no idea it happened right here. Yeah. And so we really invite you to be educated before you invest your money. And I think even oftentimes people who came and said, hey, I don't think I ever wanted to give because I didn't believe in this specific issue happening here in Dallas, but now that I'm educated, I do want to provide funding to make a difference in your program. So that's happened too. So education is key.
Okay, so I love that you're saying that. And for instance, I have $5. Does any amount matter? What would that look like if it's a small amount?
Absolutely. We have something called the power of 10, where somebody can give just $10 a month, because a lot of times we think, oh, I don't have the big dollars. How is my money making a difference? But when you look at on the other, this is a global issue and it's a monstrous issue. So it's going to take all of us coming together, doing our small part to fight against this industry.
When I'm thinking about generosity, what is your thought on maybe why someone might not want to give and be hesitant versus someone wants to give freely? Do you have any thoughts on just generosity in general and why we might hesitate or why we might not?
Absolutely. I think one of the amazing part about giving is it's actually a blessing to be able to give. My dad said this, and it's such an impactful statement that my dad passed away a few years ago. But this wisdom that he gave me always sticks with me. We were walking somewhere near the beach in Florida, and there was a homeless man who came and asked him for money. And my dad decided to give $10 or $20 out of his wallet, and we were 5 children watching him. And one of my brothers said, Dad, why'd you give like cash? He's probably going to go buy a beer or do drugs. You know, that's a lot of cash for him to have. And my dad said, I'm in a position to give, and he's in a position to ask. What I do with my money is what I'm responsible for. What he does with the money he just took from me, he's responsible for. And that I will never forget as long as I live.
Well, thank you for what y'all do. And can you tell me, I love ending our conversations with, in the midst of all the pain and all the suffering, the hardships, heartbreaking, how do you continue to see the good in the midst of everything you witness and see every day?
Absolutely. To me, I cannot be in a fundraising job where I can't see the transformation. To me, that brings such inspiration to continue to do the good and see the good. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for dignifying humankind. Hi friends, we are at New Friends, New Life, Liberty Street Garden. And what they do is this is where their clients learn how to plant a seed, help it grow, and reap a harvest. Super healing. So I bet you're wondering, what is Seeing the Good? Seeing the Good is a web series that I am creating where I'm highlighting the good that people are doing in our community, and then we're going to bless them. So in this series, we are going to spotlight about 6 nonprofits, learn about what they're about, where they came from, what they're doing, even in the financial realm, and how they are impacting lives on a daily basis. So join me, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and then together, we're all going to have a say on how we are going to bless them from the Leela Meacham Fund. I'm excited for us to see the good, do the good, and be the good together. Thank you for joining me.